Greetings, my fellow Kryptonians. My name is Marcio G, and welcome to DOVC2 Films, Paranormal Visions. Now, you read the title, 6 Disturbing Videos of La Llorona. Is she real, or just another myth? Well, here's the tale of the weeping woman who roams the late-night streets, crying for the children she murdered. Maria, also known as La Llorona, was an indigenous woman who fell deeply in love with a Spanish soldier. They would end up having 2 mixed children, half indigenous, half Spaniard. Unfortunately, her lover would later admit to her that he felt ashamed of her and her 2 children because their blood wasn't pure, and he would abandon them to marry a woman of his race who had fame and fortune. Maria went crazy and became unstable so much that she would dress up in a white wedding dress to confuse him at the day of his wedding. She arrived unexpectedly, approached him to give him a hug, and then stabbed him in the heart to his death. In desperation, she grabbed her children and took them to the nearest lake, where she would later drown them. Seconds later, she realized what she had done and cried with a loud and terrifying tone. She attempted to jump to the lake to save them, but to no avail. She would drown as well. Since then, through South and Central America and even Mexico, she has been heard of as well as seen for centuries. It is claimed she appears at the dead of night, causing dogs to bark aggressively, and whose terrifying cry brings chills to anybody to be in its presence. They say that once you hear her cry, it will be the culprit of bad luck, or even death coming near. Others say if you come face to face with her, you will instantly go insane for the rest of your life. She goes by different names in different places, but they all have one thing in common: a tall woman, dressed in white, weeping for the children she apparently murdered. So, is La Llorona real, or just another myth? Let's find out. Number 6. This video was taken in Mexico in 2014. A young boy wakes up to a loud crying sound outside of his home. He peeks out of his window, and this is what he heard.
No mames.
You can hear the loud cries of this spirit or woman so loud it resonated throughout the whole neighborhood. Nothing can be seen as far as visually, but the terrifying sound of whatever or whoever was crying causes a kid to freak out and all the dogs to bark at the same time. I looked into the matter and I'd find out that there's a multitude of people that claim to have heard the exact same sound in different parts of Mexico. They describe their experience to be absolutely terrifying and warn others that this phenomenon is indeed real and not a hoax. So, could this be the spirit of La Llorona? Or is it nothing more than a woman crying? Let me know in the comments. Number 5. It is 3 a.m. in Argentina. A group of young girls begin recording what appears to be the ghost of a woman in the middle of the night. See for yourself.
Ay, ahora me tiembla la mano.
This white pale figure seems to be pacing back and forth while crying loudly. It seems to resemble a tall woman in white. These girls are clearly terrified and clueless as to what to do as they look at it for a couple seconds, then run back inside. But what do you think? Is this the tall white figure of La Llorona, late night in Argentina? Or a tall person in a white cloak just trying to scare people? I'm gonna leave it up to you. Number 4. In this next video, you see a group of people hanging out at night as they begin to hear a strange sound coming from the distance. Check it out.
Uy, escucha lo que suena. No, en serio, suena algo por ahí. Toche, es un gato. Es un gato.
¿Qué es eso?
¿Qué es un gato? No son los gatos, huevón.
¿Qué horas son? ¿Qué horas son? Espere, ¿qué horas son? La hora. Dile la hora.
Pero qué es, no, ese quién es, ¿qué es lo que viene arriba? Qué marica.
¿Qué horas son?
Venga, chino, abre la puerta ahí.
Espere, marica, para abrir la llave.
Está en la llave, huevón. Desapareció.
The group is in shock once they realize it wasn't a cat making the sounds, but indeed something else. I zoomed into the video, and even though it's a bit pixelated, you can see what looks like a white figure floating and then disappearing, while still making that deafening sound as they try to get inside. But what do you think? Does this make a case for La Llorona? Or is it nothing more than a hoax? You tell me. Number 3. Now, there are situations where this specter has interactions with objects, people, and sometimes even goes into their homes. That was the case for this video where this man is woken up in the middle of the night to loud chants or crying of what seems to be an apparition of some sort. Take a look.
Graba. Míralo ahí, loco, míralo ahí. ¿Y qué está haciendo? Yo te dije, loco, ese parece a Martín, loco, el que murió. Cierra la puerta. No sé. Cierra la puerta. Papi. Llama a papi. Papi, ven que aquí hay una cosa rara, yo no sé qué es. Mira, llámalo, ve. Cierra la puerta. Ay, Dios mío. Mira. Ay, Dios.
Now, at a second glance, it is very clear that this entity is floating, judging by its movements. The devilish sounds in the background may be debatable, but what about the moment it seems to walk through the wall? Could this be the deceased person the man in the video claimed he had seen before? Is it La Llorona? Or is this the product of some very good editing, accompanied by some terrifying sounds? I'm gonna let you decide. Number 2. Now, in this next video, this family seems to be extremely paranoid, claiming that there's a spirit or demon inside of their home. They hear the strange crying sound but have trouble figuring out its whereabouts within the house. Once they realize where the sound is coming from, they head towards it, and what they witness is disturbing. Here's the clip.
Ay, niña, Señor, por favor, por Dios. Dios mío, Señor, guárdanos, cúbrenos con tu sangre preciosa, Señor. Por favor.
Hola, bonita.
Mira, ¿se están escuchando?
Mami, hablamos por ti.
Pero quiero darme la mano. No soy por eso. Quiero, que tenga la lista ahí, tranquilo.
¿Qué te diga? No te vas a salir, por favor.
Ven, tenga la tenilla lista. Quédese atrás de nosotros.
Quede calmada.
Déjame ir a la cocina.
Mami, te oyes abajo.
Mami, ¿está abajo? Sí. Cójala. Yo no estoy... ¿Qué te hace la niña?
Tenga la niña, no es subirse algo, nosotros andamos con una abuelita ahorita.
Vamos a bajar por el sótano. Agarro con la peñita, se lo veo.
En el nombre de Jesús. No, espere, yo no quiero bajar solo.
Bájale todo. Baje, que dame la luz.
¿No es el propio?
Sí, bajo.
Mami, está hacia allá, mire.
Sí, le acerco la cámara. No, yo no lo voy a estar por allá.
Vamos.
Solo
Quítale, qué peligro eso.
No, por eso voy a acercarla. En el nombre de Jesús. Ya déjenos en paz.
En el nombre de Jesús.
Vamos a ir para arriba.
Cristo, Cordero de Dios. ¿Qué es eso?
Once the family finds out the sound is coming from the basement, they bravely head down and see this dark shadow that begins to make this strange noise. Once they approach it, it seems to stand up or levitate, causing the lights to fade out and the light bulb outside to shatter into pieces. So is this the presence of a witch or La Llorona in somebody's home? Or is it just a family member trying to scare them? Give me your opinions. Number 1. In this last video, these two guys are walking home late at night when they are approached by this mysterious pale white entity that is weeping loudly. They stop in their tracks to see what it is and record it, but they would soon regret it. Here's the video. This white ghost-like being begins to chase these guys who are genuinely frightened, unbeknownst as to what it is. I noticed that whatever was chasing them didn't even catch his breath, as any human being running and screaming would have done. Would you have ran if you were to encounter something like this? Is this the spirit of La Llorona manifesting itself to these guys in the middle of the night? Or is it just a girl in a white cloak trying to give them a scare? All feedback is welcome. Now, I can't fully confirm to you whether the apparitions in the videos were of La Llorona or not. It could be demons, the deceased, or even witches. But those are all subjects I will cover in upcoming videos. We live in a world of infinite possibility where only a fraction of it has been explored. There's always a case for the paranormal somewhere in the world. And thanks to probability, there are many who have experienced more than just seeing or hearing La Llorona. Many have actually had encounters and have testimonies describing their individual experiences, each with something unique to tell. Stay tuned for my upcoming video, The Real Stories Behind La Llorona. That's it for this edition of Paranormal Visions. This was 6 disturbing videos of La Llorona. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel for future content and surprises. I am your host, Marcio G, and remember, seek the unknown, expect the unexpected.